Hey guys, in this video we will be looking at trigonometric identities. So a trigonometric identity is a trigonometric equation that is true for all permissible values of the variable in the expression on both sides of the equation. Let's start off by looking at the reciprocal identities. So we already know sine, cosine, and tangent. Now we're going to look at cosecant, secant, and cotangent. Alright, so first let's look at cosecant of theta. Cosecant of theta is equal to 1 over sine of theta, and secant of theta is equal to 1 over cos of theta. And finally, cotangent of theta is equal to 1 over tangent of theta. Alright, now guys, let's look at the quotient identities. Alright, so first we have tan of theta, and tan of theta will be equal to sine of theta over cos of theta. And cotangent of theta, since this is a reciprocal of the tangent, this will be cos of theta over sine of theta. Alright guys, now we're going to be looking at the Pythagorean identity. And first let's start off by drawing a Cartesian plane and drawing a triangle like that. And so let's say this angle is theta, this side x, y, and this side will be r. So as you all know, the Pythagorean theorem says a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. And in this case, right here, our a will be x, so x squared, our b will be y, and our hypotenuse will be r, so it will be r squared. Now, let's divide both sides by r squared. So if we divide r squared by r squared, this will be 1. If we divide r squared by y squared by r squared, it will be that. And if we divide x squared by r squared, it will look like that. And guys, we can change this into that, and also this into that. Now, what is x over r? Well, x over r is cosine. So as you guys look here, cosine of theta will be r over x. So this can be written as cos squared theta. And what's y over r? It is sine of theta. So this will be sine squared o equals 1. So this is one of our identities, which is cos squared plus sine squared is equal to 1. Alright guys, there are a few more identities, so let's take a look. So our previous Pythagorean identity was cos of theta squared plus sine of theta squared is equal to 1. Now let's try to divide both sides by cos of theta squared. So let's divide this by cos of theta squared, this by cos of theta squared, and this one by cos of theta squared. Now these two will cancel out, and that will become a 1, plus this will be sine of theta squared over cos of theta squared. But what is sine of theta over cos of theta, guys? That will be tan of theta. So since that is tan of theta, what if we square this? Then this will become sine squared of theta, cos squared of theta, and that will be tan of theta squared. So basically guys, that will be equal to this. So we can replace that with tan squared of theta. Now let's look at this guy right here. From the previous identities, we know that 1 over cos of theta is equal to secant of theta. Now if we square both sides, it will become 1 over cos squared theta equal to secant squared theta. Alright guys, so we have 1 over cosine squared theta here, and that is equal to secant squared theta, so our other side of the equation will be secant squared of theta, and this will be our new identity. 1 plus tan squared theta is equal to secant squared of theta. Alright guys, this time let's say sine squared of theta plus cos squared of theta is equal to 1. Now, this time let's divide both sides by sine squared of theta. So we divide this by sine squared of theta, we divide this by sine squared of theta, and we divide this by sine squared of theta. These two will cancel out and form a 1 plus. What's cosine theta over sine of theta? Well, this is going to equal cotangent of theta. If we square both, we get cos squared of theta, sine squared of theta is equal to cotangent squared of theta. So basically guys, this will become cotangent squared of theta. Now, let's look at the other side of the equation. 1 over sine of theta, and that is equal to cosecant of theta, and if we square both of these, we will get 1 over sine squared theta is equal to cosecant squared of theta. So we can say that 1 over sine squared theta is equal to cosecant, cosecant squared of theta. And this will be another identity.